Hello and welcome to Megatrip, the travel channel that inspires you to adventure. And this time, after a couple of years break, we are on the wonderful island of Cyprus, where, amongst anything else, you can see plenty of cats. Now, we're actually in our kind of second week here now. We've not made any videos. I've been here for some family stuff. If you watch the other Cyprus videos, you'll know some of my family live here. Go back and watch those if you haven't. Compare them. Let me know the difference. But now we're having a little bit of holiday, a little bit of a wander around. And we are in Limassol. Well, kind of. We're actually in Akrotiri, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But anyway, here's what's coming up on this episode of Megatrip. You get onto real, genuine salt, and it almost looks like ice here at sunset. Take a guess. No, you're probably wrong. A keg of wine, a vineyard of wine. Let's go. Yalla. Probably the best beer in the world. It's not. I'm sorry, Carlsberg, it's not. Through the magic of editing, you now know more than I do about what's coming up on this episode of Megatrip. Anyway, as I was saying, we're in Limassol, or almost in Limassol, just outside Limassol in Akrotiri. Now, Akrotiri is actually a super interesting place because it is a bit of sovereign British territory here in Cyprus, on the island of Cyprus. It's essentially a military base. But anyway, we have come to have a look at something quite specific, and that is at the Salt Lake. We'll have a little look at that in a second. Anyway, for now, cue the music. Yeah, sure. I want to try and get to a viewpoint before the sunset. It looks like it's going to be banging. So we are at Limassol Salt Lake at Akrotiri. Now, here's a few interesting things about this place. One, it's stunningly beautiful. Take a quick look at this. We're here just at sunset. But two, it's quite interesting from a geological perspective, I guess. I mean, I'm not a scientist. So this Salt Lake is about 10 square kilometers, and it is the biggest lake in Cyprus. But it actually fills from seawater, and in the winter, that's really when it tends to fill up. And we're kind of in August now, in the summer. And what happens is the water evaporates and it leaves a hard crust of salt around the lake. And if you're here at the right time of year, you can actually see flamingos. Now, I don't think we're going to see those today. And the lake itself is actually about 2.7 meters below sea level. So it's also one of the lowest places here in Cyprus. But 100% worth a visit. Come on down here, have a look. The nature in this country, the scenery, is not to be underrated. Absolutely stunning. All right then, Mega Tripper. So as you walk from the car, or you park the car in Akrotiri, it's probably about a 10-15 minute walk across a windy bit of woods and then a plain. And after a little while, you get to the salt itself. Like I said, this time of year, there's almost no water and it's just salt. You can see a little bit behind me. So check this out. You get onto real, genuine salt, and it almost looks like ice here at sunset. If you've ever seen those Top Gear episodes when they went to Antarctica, it kind of looks like that. It is a sight to see, and most definitely worth coming down here if you're in Cyprus. Hopefully you can hear me, it's quite windy. I don't have the windshield on my mic. But check out this amazing, almost prehistoric looking landscape. And of course, because it's salt, you can literally bend down, rub your fingers on it, give them a little lick, and it is super, super salty. And then I don't know if you can see just on the surface, as you work further out and it gets a little bit deeper, you can see there's a little bit of water still evaporating with the sunlight shining off it. An absolutely unique landscape. How beautiful is that? So, if you come to Cyprus, don't just come to the beaches, come out and see some of the natural beauty like this as well. And if you come in the winter where there's more water, you'll probably see pink flamingos too. Stunning. Hello and good morning, Mega Tripper. It is the next day here in Limassol. I don't know if I mentioned yesterday when we were at the salt flats at the Salt Lake that is actually where we're staying, the city that we're in, and we have a lovely apartment here, White City, Limassol. Come check it out, great value, really, really nice. And we have a beautiful terrace all the way around and some pretty nice views. Not so bad. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about the city of Limassol. We're actually going to head up into the mountains today, so we're not going to show you that much of it. Like I said, we had a real holiday for a few days to relax, unwind from the day jobs, etc. But I want to talk a little bit about Limassol if you haven't been. It has a beautiful marina, but a slightly interesting vibe, or different vibe to places like Paphos, which you might have seen in some of my videos from a few years ago. It is not very touristy. It feels like a real city, a real lived-in city, and it has a beautiful, and I mean beautiful marina. And I live in Dubai, so believe me, I know the boats. But one thing to note, so we're here in August, and the city itself is quiet. We went out to try and eat last night, and we actually struggled to find a restaurant that was open. A lot of the people here in Cyprus, when it gets hot in the summer, when you're not in a particularly tourist city, what they'll do is they will head up to their family homes in the mountains where it's much cooler, much like where my family home is, to be perfectly honest. So if you want a bit of peace and quiet, you want city vibes, Limassol, definitely it. But if you want to go out, maybe it's not the right place in August. So that wasn't the only thing that I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to talk about getting around. Now, there is public transport here in Cyprus, buses mainly, service taxis or shared taxis. But in reality, if you're coming here, if you want to move around the island, then you need to rent a car. Now, we've rented, I'm going to try and show you this, a tiny little Kia Stonic that maybe you can see just in the back of the car park down there. So down there in the car park behind us, you might have seen the Kia Stonic. It is a little car. Now, we thought long and hard about what car to rent, and we honestly thought about getting something a bit bigger, maybe a 4x4, maybe a Mercedes, something a bit fancier. This is our big summer holiday. But we went against it, and we went against it for one reason, which remains true, and we found another reason to perhaps rent something a bit smaller and a bit cheaper. Now, the big reason we went for it, well, honestly, was value. So it cost about 2,500 dirham, or about £500, and that's for 3 weeks to rent. That's full insurance, everything. Is it an amazing car? No. Does it do everything that we need? Absolutely, it gets us around. Now, the second reason why I would highly recommend either something like the Kia, or even the micro cars, the small cars they have here, the Toyota Aigos, is the roads are really, really small. They are tiny. If you're in the cities, if you're driving around, a small car is definitely it. Even the car park for this place, we barely fit in. That's why we parked across the road now, because just getting around that, even in a small car, was a nightmare. So if you're thinking big, luxury, yeah, maybe, but there's no real long road trips here, right? The longest journey on the island of Cyprus is about 2 hours. So I highly recommend, if you can, certainly if there's only 2 of you, get a small car, save the money, have the convenience for that. Anyway, we're going to jump on the road. We're going to head to somewhere called Lefkara in just a minute. So I'll leave you here with this view from our apartment. So just 45 minutes drive down the road and up into the mountain a little bit from Limassol. You get to our next destination, or one of the first destinations for your mega trip, Lefkara. Now, Lefkara is a beautiful little Cypriot village, dotted with little cafes, an amazing boutique hotel where we're staying, the Agora. But what Lefkara is actually famous for is, take a guess? No, you're probably wrong. It is lace, it's this stuff. So the local ladies here up in the mountains make Lefkara lace. Embroidery, textiles of all sorts, and of course some beautiful jewellery. But lace, very much, is the thing that this place is famous for. Anyway, we've just arrived, we've checked into the hotel, very well looked after, upgraded, so, you know, never a bad thing. Now we have a little wander around the beautiful town of Lefkara, find something to eat. Ready, Liz? Let's go. Okay then, Megatripper, I want you to do a little bit of Megatrip Dom embodiment. Imagine it is Sunday afternoon, you arrived in Lefkara, you ate some food, you drank some wine, you hung out with your wonderful partner Liz, and then maybe a little nap, and you woke up on Sunday evening and you're in Lefkara and there's some sort of festival going on and you're ready to explore. Well, that's exactly where we are tonight. We have been told that tonight there's a little bit of a festival going on. There is some live music, there is some traditional food, there are some tours of this little village in the Troodos mountains. So come with us as we go and enjoy Lefkara by night. Yalla Habibti, yalla. All right, so step one on our little Lefkara festival adventure. Get a little cocktail on the street, why not? Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Let's go. Let's go.
Quick note from the edit. There was a DJ playing here, so I have taken the sound off to avoid a copyright claim. So, we have come down from the square, and everywhere around us there are people out having a good time. There is a stage, there is a DJ going on, and plenty of street food. Bao, pizza, burgers, shawarma, bread and chicken. Get yourself down to Lefkara here in August. Not so bad.
All right then, Megatripper, let's talk beer. I might be drinking a cocktail, but Cyprus is a beery place. There's three main brands here, three pretty ubiquitous brands. There's Carlsberg, that you're probably familiar with from wherever you're from. A huge Danish company, probably the best beer in the world. It's not, I'm sorry Carlsberg, it is not. Then there's Leon, which you'll see seems to be the sponsoring beer right here tonight. That's Leon in Greek right there. And then there's my favourite, the Amber Nectar, Keo, K-E-O. Absolutely love it. Try all three. Let me know which one you think's best in the comments. Here's a hint, it's definitely Keo. Okay, dear Megatripper, so we've just been in the little festival square. Liz got a hot dog, and then she said the important, vital words. Let's get a drink. So I said, what do you want, a bottle of wine? I said, a bottle of wine, a keg of wine, a vineyard of wine. Let's go, yalla. So one thing that you'll notice on nights like tonight in Cyprus, they are very much a family affair. There's kids, there's parents, there's almost every generation. I mean, just look at this little taverna right here. You can see we're just outside the festival square. There's families, there's tourists, there's everyone eating together, and that is very much the Cypriot thing. If you're a parent with children and you're thinking about Cyprus, this is the right place to come. It is a very, very family-friendly place. When we started to come here with the family, that was one of the big reasons. I was, I don't know, 8 years old, something like that, when we started to come with my parents. But anyway, let's have a little look at the food. So this is one of the famous traditional Cypriot staples. Here, meat grilling over the barbecue. Now this one, the slightly bigger one here, the big hunks of meat, That is souvla, essentially kebab, I guess, or meat grilled over the coals. Now, if you want the small one on the stick, the little pieces, perhaps put into a yummy little pita bread with some tzatziki and some fries, well, that is souvlaki, or little souvla. Anyway, get yourself to Cyprus, come have some souvla, hang out with your family. It's good times all round. It's a little bit weird, Dom, I hear you cry, that you're up in a Cypriot village in the mountains and some kind of festival or party going on. And yeah, maybe more lucky than weird. So one thing you will find here in Cyprus, in the villages, well, this is maybe a town, not a village, at least by Cypriot standards, is that throughout August, well, July and August, every village, every town, they have a village festival. Whether it's a 100-person village, like the one that my family lives in, or it's a slightly bigger, more touristic place like this one, they will have one day a year where they bring DJs, they bring music, they bring dances, they bring food, they bring drink. And that is exactly what we stepped into here. Maybe more by luck than by judgment. But if you can figure that out, hey, it's a great thing to try and hit. The local Cypriot Village Festival, where you can get lots of yummy food, good drinks, and good times.
Further down?
Why don't we go up and see if there's anything else around there? So as we wander around the buzzy streets of Lefkara, I mean, I won't lie, there won't be too much more from us tonight on video. I've done a little bit of hasty Googling to tell you a little bit more about this particular festival. This is actually a street food festival, which makes sense, you know, for a hot dog that Liz just consumed that's apparently very, very good. There's perhaps some non-traditional Cypriot foods here, pizza, some Japanese food, something that perhaps you don't normally see in the villages. But this is the 44th Lefkara Street Food Festival, and tonight is the closing night. So we're going to go have some fun and enjoy the closing night of the 44th Lefkara Street Food Festival here in Cyprus. Okay then, dear Mega Tripper, I'm at the end of the day at the Lefkara Food Festival, the last day of the Lefkara Food Festival. Definitely worth a trip. I think the dates are something like 15 to 18 of August. So if you want to make it out, do that. But look it up online, it'll be there. It'll be there. I just want to, before I go to bed, talk a little bit about where we're staying. So we're staying in a beautiful hotel, the Agora Hotel here in Lefkara, one of the small luxury hotels in the world. It is about, in terms of cost, because I know you always want that, it's about £200 a night. So it's not cheap. So what's that, like $250, $300 around that. So definitely not a cheap place, absolutely worth it. But while that's happening, like I said, I just want to talk a little bit about this part of Cyprus. It is absolutely worth coming here, and I think I would have said earlier in the video about renting a car, and if you can, absolutely get a car. Do not come and stay in just one place. Travel around a little bit. You get to come to places like this, a little bit out of the way, a little bit interesting, loads going on, maybe find some village festivals. But if you come maybe not at festival time, what can you expect from Lefkara? Well, in all honesty, it is a little bit of a tourist trap, right? So it is jewellery shops, it is lace shops, but it is achingly pretty, and you don't have to spend money on all that stuff. So in the morning, we're going to do some other adventures, and you'll join me then, no doubt. But just remember, if you've enjoyed this video, please do give me a little like. If you've been to Cyprus, if you've seen something that you like, if you think I've got anything wrong, particularly if you think I've got something wrong, please do leave a little comment below. And of course, most importantly, do subscribe. It's a little bell icon down there. Turn notifications on. It just means that you'll get a notification every single time I drop new content, which happens pretty regularly at the moment. Not once a week as I once did, unfortunately. My life has got too hectic for that, and I do this as a hobby, not as a profession. But for now, I'm going to bed. Good night from Megatrip Don. Okay then, dear Mega Tripper, it is the next morning here in Lefkara, and we read a few things online about what there is to actually do here. In reality, it is the lace, it is the shopping. We were lucky to have the food festival last night, but there is other stuff to do around here. We are lucky to be based in the foothills of the Troodos mountains, and one of the things you can do here, you can go and see, is there are lots of monasteries and beautiful religious sites up in the mountains. And that's where we're going just now. We're going to jump in the car, we're going to drive about 40 minutes to Machairas Monastery. I think that's how you pronounce it. I probably got it wrong. Correct me in the comments. Let's go. Okay then, mega trippers, we are on our way up the mountain to the monastery, but I just wanted to show you a couple of things and why it is worth renting a car here. So one, check out these beautiful, sweeping, winding mountain roads you get to drive. Definitely pretty cool. A little bit of fun. Very safe, I'd say. Lots of barriers and all of that. And obviously, don't go above the speed limit. But obviously, even at the speed limit, excellent, nice, fun driving. But the other reason to come up here is the views. So we just pulled in for a little stop, and I'm not going to show you the views just yet. A little path up to viewpoints like this. So we're going to have a little wander up here, and then when we get to the top Mega Tripper, I'm going to show you some beautiful views with some nice music over the top, no doubt. Here we go. Cyprus is stunning. Get yourself here. So the mountain range here on the island of Cyprus is called the Troodos Mountains, and it's made up of lots of smaller mountains in the range as you'd expect, including Mount Olympus, the highest mountain on the island. The views are absolutely stunning from these mountain viewpoints, and you can even see interesting things like this radar installation sat at the top of the hill. Anyway, enjoy the view. So we're now up in the Troodos near the monastery, and there is this amazing statue of this gentleman called Georgios. I won't try and murder his last name, I'm afraid. Now, this was a freedom fighter of type, if you like. So in 1957, he was chased by the British and ended up in a hole, if you like. A hole, defending himself. And the British shouted to him to chuck out his grenades, his guns, and he responded, "Come and get them." So he managed to fight the British off for 10 hours. And then, unfortunately, after that, the British poured petrol into the hole and set fire to him. But he is now remembered and revered by this statue here in the mountains, overlooking this absolutely stunning view. So now, I guess it's time to go look at the monastery that I promised you. The Machairas Monastery here in the Troodos Mountains in Cyprus. Let's go. Okay then, Mega Tripper, so just a few minutes walk, or drive even, from that beautiful statue. We are at the Machairas Monastery. Now, the story goes, in 1145, two hermits found a cave blocked by bushes. And magically, knives appeared in their hands to cut through the bushes and enter the cave. And in that cave, they found an icon of the Virgin Mary. Now, icons are very well used in the Greek Orthodox Church, which is what we have here. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to film inside, but that's a little bit of history. And here you can see the entry to this beautiful monastery. So in the grounds of the monastery now, some very nice gentlemen on the gate let us in. And I'm sure there's plenty to see here. You can see some bells up behind me there. And also on one of the churches, we won't be filming inside, these beautiful mosaics a lot of history here in Cyprus. A lot of it is Roman, Grecian, Ottoman. You see lots of mosaics everywhere in this beautiful religious complex. And here, overhanging the mountainside, you can see the rest of the monastery. Absolutely stunning. Okay, well that was the monastery, and I can't show you too much of it. It is a working monastery of about 20 to 30 monks in there, and it's really not the done thing to film inside and not the areas, but it is absolutely stunning and absolutely beautiful, and you wouldn't know it. This thing was actually burnt down twice, once in 1590, once I think in 1892. I may have got those dates wrong, so you probably want to look that up for yourself, and then rebuilt with Russian money, because of course it's an Orthodox church. Not Russian Orthodox, but Greek Orthodox, but of course they are related. Now, hopefully the editor will be able to cut in some stock footage of what it looks like inside, but really you do have to go and have a look at this place yourself. It is absolutely stunning, an absolutely beautiful atmosphere, and great views down the mountain across these old buildings, these old religious buildings. And it's not the only monastery in the foothills of Troodos. You could spend days driving around them. We're not going to, but hopefully that gives you a little taste. But that is the end of this particular Megatrip episode. Of course, if you liked what you've seen, please do give it a little thumbs up. It just helps recognise the video. If you've got anything to say, if I've got some stuff wrong, I almost definitely have, drop it in the comments down below. And of course, if you are not subscribed, do make sure you subscribe. It's the little bell icon just down there. It costs you absolutely nothing, and just make sure, and it's free, and it makes sure you get an alert every single time I drop new content here on Megatrip. So from Megatrip Dom, from Liz, here in Cyprus, that's it for this video, but join us next time here on Megatrip.